Through Sexy with Death and Psychedelics. I make posters, t-shirts, patches, and all sorts of other random things. You can find some of my t-shirts down the link below. In the last video, we talked about all the different supplies that you might need and gave you just kind of a brief run through of what screen printing actually is and that it's not really hard to do on your own in your own house. In this video, we're going to go through all the steps that you need to do to make your first patches using only wax paper, a screen, and your grocery store's rewards card. Let's get right into it. So, let's get started. First things first, you want enough wax paper to go past the edges of the screen. And then, once we have that, we're going to go ahead and cut out our design. We want to stay kind of in the middle of this page so that we have room to push the ink around on. So, let's think of what we're going to do. Let's do one thing that I think that everyone here should be able to agree in. We're gonna make a patch that just says F. T. Rid of those, and E. At no point should these three letters be thought to be inflammatory in any way, shape, or form. This is just popular opinion. And to get the middle part, we're going to cut that part out. And we're going to save this little piece. So you're saved, that's trash. Other things that we can do is do B, L, M. Again, another three letters that really shouldn't be a controversial topic. But apparently in our world, we have a problem that we need to address. And sadly, we need to remind people that Black Lives Matter. Again, just like with our little piece of wax paper right here for our P, gonna cut these bad boys out too. And remember, you're working with sharp objects. Don't cut yourself. That'd make me very sad to hear. for if that happens. All right. So let's clean this a little bit up right here. Now we have a stencil. Let's go grab our screen and our rewards card. And we're gonna make some patches. So, now that we have our first stencil, by all means, take your time on that stencil, as much as you need. Gonna need some to print on too. I'm gonna do this artist tablet. It's newsprint. It's what I do all the posters on. Because newsprint bonds really heavily with wheat paste and becomes almost impossible to remove from brick. In case you're wondering why we use newsprint. So, as I said, spray adhesive. We're just gonna spray some on there. Give it a second to dry. Then what I'm praying on today be found at most big box hardware stores. I like Lowe's. They do veterans discounts, and they aren't openly supporting Trump, which is something I can't say about a particularly orange big box hardware store. But you can get a bag of rags. It costs like $10. You can make a lot of things. You can make a lot of patches on there. If you don't have that, you can go to any fabric store, get yourself some heavy denim, like some light denim, some canvas, really anything that's cheap, that's kind of sturdy. So, next we're going to put down our wax paper. And when I told you to save those little bits that we're cutting out, this is when we're going to put them back in the center. Don't really have to be perfect. It'll all get itself stuck in place before we're done with any of it, okay? And you'll see how all that happens. Alright. Got everything adjusted. Next we're going to take our screen, go straight down. And if you're doing this yourself, you can kind of look in, see and make sure that all your wax paper is really just kind of like lined up in where you want it to be. I'll print it with some red. You can do this in any color area that you have that has the ink. Woo! A little bit much red, that's okay. That ink's not going to go to waste. We're going to scoop it all back up, put it back in. So, this is the line of my wax paper. I want to get a little bit close. And the reason why I wanted to spread the ink all around on the wax paper is this is what's going to hold the wax paper to the screen itself. Alright. Let's actually scoop back up some of that ink. So, just going to use our card to scrape ink through the screen. It's not the best thing that we can use, but if you're trying to really get by with as little money that you can, it will work. And you just lift that up. Look at that. Cut those out, you have some patches. Let's do that again. Alright. Just like that. And if you went out and got yourself a little blue vinyl scraper, it makes it a little bit easier. Alright. And I get one more BLM. Alright. Ain't nothing easier. Once you're done, scrape up the majority of the ink right here. And then we need to wash out our screen. Because the wax paper is not a permanent stencil. Because it's not a permanent stencil, there's nothing about this that you actually have to do anything with. Because, as you can see, wax paper just rolls right off. You have a perfectly brand new screen again after you wash it out, which is something that you need to do. So as I said, you want to clean your screen right away. The reason for that is because the ink that we're using self-dries and self-cures and will clog up and dry inside of your screen, meaning that you need to get your screen re-stretched in order to use it again. I cleaned this screen. It's the exact same screen that we just used. And about cleaning your screens, if you live in a house and have access to a garden hose, now would be a great time to go and clean the screen outside with that garden hose using any cheap sprayer attachment that you can put on the end of the hose. The inks that we're using are non-toxic, water-soluble, and it's basically tempera or acrylic ink. It's not actually going to damage anything or hurt the environment. If you don't have access to a hose and a backyard and someplace that you can safely do this at, you're gonna have to do this in your bathtub. Let me just tell you right now, you should just commit yourself to taking a shower with this. Trust me from experience, just go ahead and take a shower at the same time. You're going to be dealing with a lot less cleanup, and you're not going to have to mop afterwards, and it's just going to be easier for you. Another thing, if you're doing it in the tub, you're gonna wanna clean the tub afterwards. This isn't ink. These are dyes. It's like dyeing your hair in the bathroom. You're gonna wanna clean this up somehow if you ever have any hope of getting back your security deposit. Alright, so we made our first patches. These are mine. Not that hard, easy to do. And we still have a fresh screen ready to be used. So, in the next video, we're going to go over the draw and fill method. It's not quite the level of a precision of the image that you want if you're going with photo emulsion, but it is going to be able to give you a lot more versatility with making a screen. The only problem is that this will render your screen unusable for any other method. So, if you want to follow along, awesome. And if you think that this is something that you're really interested in, now would probably be a good time to start looking at getting a proper squeegee of some form, even if it's one of the cheap ones. Just something a little bit more versatile than a grocery store rewards card or a little vinyl squeegee. Alright, take care, have fun, keep your head up, and I'll see you later.